Hey, it's Toy here again with another MK review. This time we're doing Quan Chi, 7 hand size, 20 vitality, death, evil, life. Enhance, remove one character card from your discard pile. For the rest of this enhanced step, your starting character gains all enhance abilities printed on the removed card. R, after your opponent plays an enhance ability, the stack is +1 or -1 damage. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at, we're just going to look at that R. We're going to forget the enhance for a second here. So the R, after your opponent plays an enhance ability, the stack is +1 or -1 damage. So this in and of itself can shut down so many decks. Well, I guess not straight shut them down, but it can cripple them significantly. Okay. The enhanced step is something that people will take for granted oftentimes because flash decks have always been very gimmicky and they haven't been utilized too much. And even then, the power of the flash deck, it's only during your opponent's turn that you have to worry about flash decks. You still get your own enhanced steps. You still control your own enhanced steps. However, now if I'm playing against Quan Chi, he's taking my enhanced step away from me. Like, not literally, but he's taking a degree of control away from my own enhanced step. And that's really, really powerful, right? If you haven't already seen the video that I talk about control and how much I value control, then you need to go do that. Maybe I'll post a link in the comments here, but this is ridiculous. And instantly being able to lord influence over your opponent's enhanced steps is big. Okay? And it's specifically because it affects damage so heavily, and because it increases and decreases, you maintain that influence both on your turn and your opponent's turn, and regardless of whose attack it is. It's not your attack, it's not their attack, it's just straight R, goes off. Don't worry about it. So it reduces the effectiveness of all damage pump. It reduces the effectiveness of all damage reduction. It adds a penalty onto any utility-based enhance. Like, it's ridiculous. It's just really, really powerful, and it's so stinking free. So free. Like, what the heck? But that's not all. Now let's get to this enhance. Remove a character card from your discard pile. So, based on the cost, you need to have character cards in your deck. Now, Quan Chi is kind of nice because you can be a little bit more focused with the characters you run, right? So, you're running a higher character count, but you're 7 hand size, so you have that extra forgiveness. So, whenever I'm building a deck, I always look at, okay, if I'm playing a 6 hand size, I always look at what my average hand draw would be. So I kind of break it down into cards per hand. So if it's a 60 card deck, 6 cards in hand, then I think about it that way. Okay, if in my hand, on average, I want to see 2 attacks, 4 foundations. So I'm running close to 20 attacks and close to 40 foundations. However, I'd rather see 1 attack than 3 attacks on many turns, because I'd rather have the ability to sculpt and not just get forced into attacking when I don't want to. So I usually run slightly lower than 20, and so on, and I go from there. I'm being really rough about it. Anyways, with a 720, I can break my deck down into sevenths, if that makes sense, right? And then I can dedicate so much of my deck into doing more things because I'm a 7 hand size. So I have that luxury, right? Because now on average, I can still draw 2 attacks, 4 foundations, plus 1 more card, right? So Quan Chi as a character buddy block deck, he's as a 7 hand sizer, he's already got the luxury to dedicate more space in his deck to characters and not have to worry about losing options during his turn. Now, moving forward, again, he can be a little bit more focused even on how many characters he runs, depending on the kind of design you want to go with, because he can dedicate characters to specific meta. Basically, depending on what's going to be running in the tournament, what he thinks he's going to run into, he can adjust the characters he's running to compensate for that. So if he's going to run into nothing but reptile, he can compensate for that. If he's going to run into nothing but wall decks, he can compensate for that. He can always plan his deck around specific matchups. Or you can plan your deck around specific combos within itself. So you can run characters that are going to enable you to do things you shouldn't normally be able to do on your given 3 symbols. So if you can find attacks or foundations on those 3 symbols that aren't supposed to mix with certain characters, well, now you can do it because you got Quan Chi and you don't care, right? He's got that advantage. He's very similar to Ermac too, because you're going to be running characters. You're probably going to have a higher 6-check count in your deck, which means your early game is going to be a bit stronger because you're going to naturally check higher. So he's got a strong early game, especially, but then as the opponent gets more enhances, he still stays relevant because of his R. And as his discard pile fills up with characters, or as you review characters or block with them or do whatever you're going to do with them, he's still going to have more options available to him. And that's the other thing. He flows really well with the game. You can still block with your character cards, clear them, and still use them for his enhance. So unlike Ermac, where he's burning the candle at both ends, Quan Chi is using every part of the buffalo, right? He likes the check on the characters. He likes using the block on the characters. And he can then remove those characters from his discard pile for further effects. Literally, he can do everything with them. That's not even getting into any of his support or anything that you might run in the deck or what else you can do with them. I'm just looking at characters right now. Okay? He's got a lot. He's got a lot going for him. He's scary. He's really scary. Again, it's another example of a designed character where everything flows so nicely. Which is why it's strange when I see other characters that don't flow super nicely when a large portion of this set was designed really, really well. Anyways, that's kind of where I'm at with Quan Chi, right? He has a lot going for him and lots of very impressive things. He's going to take a lot of creativity in terms of how you want to find your damage. Because that response, as strong as it is, the main part of it is influencing your opponent and their enhances. The downside to it is that it is in control of your opponent, so you can't rely on it for your damage, if that makes sense. So you as the player have to design your deck around being able to secure kills, regardless of your opponent triggering your R or not. And you're going to need to be able to figure out how to do that. And that's where your enhance comes in. So you can use it to kill people, or you can use it to survive, or you can use it for whatever. You can use it for a little bit of both. You can dedicate parts of your sideboard just to having, characters in it to help you do different things depending on your matchup. So he's got lots of things he can do. But that's kind of my worry with him. It's a small worry, but that's my worry, is that you have to design him to push things through, because his R won't do it for you. His E can do some of it for you, but you can only, again, removing your character for that, you can only do it for one enhanced step. So keep that in mind as well. Eventually you will run out of character fuel for this effect. However, a good player should be able to secure the game before they run out enough characters, or before they've used up all their resources. As a 7 hand size, he's already got enough going for him that he can usually find enough cards to kill people, but that's going to be up to the player. Super powerful, super oppressive. Once people figure him out and how to beat him, I don't know if he's going to be that scary, but for now, until he's solved, he's a scary force. So keep an eye out for him.